Greetings. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I call the 5 stages of a spiritual scientist. Now, it's best to enter into any field or any endeavor with awareness of how things are going to go. For example, if you had an aspiration to become a basketball player professionally, you wouldn't just assume that you're going to get accepted just because you can slam dunk or shoot a three-pointer or whatever. I don't know basketball terminology. But what I'm saying is, anyone who's serious about something understands that there are levels. There are levels of progression. Not only are there levels, but there's also a certain aspect of study that's required to pass those levels. So it's not about anyone approving you or saying that you're good enough or not good enough. It has everything to do with your level of understanding. So just like in the everyday world, whether you make it to a new job, you've got to start at the bottom and work your way up. Or whether you enter into some group, you've got to start at the bottom and work your way up. No matter what it is that you do, there are levels that have to be attained in a specific order. And that's not done just to make somebody feel good about themselves or feel bad about themselves. That's done to ensure that you have an understanding of the process. So it's the exact same when we deal with occult information, when we deal with spirituality. Now, most of you are not a part of any specific group, but if and when you do join and take part into a specific group, you'll also see that you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Now, if this hurts your ego, then you probably shouldn't be doing this in the first place. But as a spiritual scientist, as a student, you'll understand that just like going to college, you got to start as a freshman, then you become a sophomore, then a junior, then a senior. So typically when it comes to the occult sciences, there are 5 stages that are progressed. And as they're progressed, your level of awareness and understanding begins to increase. Xavier Sheffer Bay, peace, peace, and greetings. CJ, greetings, greetings. Good to see you. Beautiful love. Hello, hello. Nova Hampton. Yes. Peace, peace. Doing well. So essentially, addressing these 5 levels and understanding where you are in those levels, this should help to make you feel a little bit more comfortable as far as the type of results that you're getting. So let's start with the first level. I'll go through all of them. The first level is called the unaware level. Unaware. The second level is called pain aware, right? The third level, that's solution aware. The fourth level, that is path aware, right? And then the fifth level is the most aware. So we'll start at the first level, which is unaware. Now, unaware, this is what we would consider people who don't know anything about the deeper layers of spirituality. The unaware level, that first entry layer, this is most people. This is the general public. This is everybody who doesn't really take spirituality seriously. At most, they might go to church, right? And they might have, I don't know, somewhat of a relationship with Jesus or Allah or Buddha or whatever. But it's very general, very superficial. It's not very deep. And they don't really care as much as someone like you or me, right? So to them, for the most part, they're just doing it because they're supposed to, because everyone else does it. Now, it's the unaware level that I don't really strive to talk to, because that's going to be the most expensive as far as time and effort, right? Because these are people who are locked into a certain level, and it's going to be very difficult to move them from one level to another level. So, again, this is a big reason why I always say, don't try to save the world. A lot of times we have family members and loved ones who don't understand what we're doing, and we know that if they did, it would benefit them in many ways. But when we try to talk to them about the things that we're up to as far as our different practices, they don't want to hear it. As a matter of fact, most of the time they fight against it. And you've probably been demonized or ostracized due to your beliefs in comparison to what they believe. So that's the first level, the unaware level. The second level is the pain aware level. And these are people who have gone through enough pain and they're asking questions like, there's got to be more to life than this, right? There's got to be some other solution. There's got to be some way to do it. There's got to be something different. There's got to be, right? We find in this level, that second level, a lot of times you're asking questions like, it's got to be, it's got to be. There's something more to life. I just know there is, right? And even still, that's a very difficult level to approach because while they're looking for answers, they're also they're either distrustful or they trust way too easy. And again, this level is also a level that I try to stay away from because if they trust too easy, that can easily lead to someone who is, ready to just worship somebody as their savior, and that's not the best way to grow. And then on the other side, this is someone who has probably been burned a few times and doesn't trust people. So what you'll find with this level is they'll be jumping from one subject to the next, right? They'll ask questions here, and then they'll ask questions there, and then someone will tell them this, and then they'll go and try to cross-reference it with someone else over here. And there's just so many different angles that they're trying to approach it from that they never really make any progress, right? We've all been there too, right? Do you remember when you were at that level? When you were searching, but you didn't know what you were searching for, and you weren't really making any progress? What we find is that a lot of people give up at this level because it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when you've had enough of life kicking your ass and you want answers, you want solutions, and you look for them and you can't find them. Right? So we found a lot of people give up at this stage. But that's the second level. But we're getting closer, right? So then what we find is that there's actually a third level. And that third level we call solution aware. And that's really you guys, right? A lot of you. Right, and that's a lot of the audience that I tried to speak to and I try to approach to. People who are solution aware. These are people who have gone through trials and tribulations of life, and they know that things are difficult, and they're looking for answers, and they know that there's an answer. That's the difference between stage 3 and stage 2. Stage 2, they don't know there's an answer, right? They hope that maybe there's an answer, but they don't know because they haven't found anything like it. On that third level, you understand and you know that there is an answer. So your searching and your seeking is backed with confidence because you know that the answer exists. Now, I was fortunate enough to be at that level back in 1999, right? I didn't know what the answer was, but I knew there was one. I knew there was one. So I was okay with buying all these different books and trying out these different spells and different practices, et cetera, et cetera. I was okay with it because I knew there was an answer. That's the third stage. Now, the third stage, this is really pivotal because depending on which direction you go, you're going to make it to the top or you're going to be led astray, right? So that's why lately I've been talking about shadow work and I've been talking about even working with the goddess. Because when we deal with shadow work, what we're actually talking about is taking into account the subtle and subliminal influences that control your behavior. The little things in the back of your head that influence you to do whatever, to say whatever, to think whatever, to feel whatever. Shadow work is addressing the subtle influences that control your behavior. Now, here's why that's important at this level. Because if you don't address the subtle influences of your behavior when you're looking for answers, it's easy to get manipulated. It's easy to get led astray because you're likely to be attracted to somebody who sounds good and maybe looks good, but ain't saying anything that makes sense. Right? And on the same token, you're liable to reject and turn away from certain teachers or certain subjects because it doesn't fit your ideal image of what the answer should be. Right? So it's crucial at this stage to understand the importance of shadow work. And what that is addressing the subtle influences of your behavior. Does that make sense? Queen of Swords, peace, peace. Brian Roldan, peace and greetings. Sunshine Chick. Hola, ¿cómo está? Aloha. So the first stage was being completely unaware. That's the muggles and the basic plain people that walk the earth. The second stage is people who are pain aware. They've been hurt and beat up enough, and they're looking for answers. They're looking for something different than what they're used to. The third stage is what we call they're solution aware. They know that there's a solution. They know that there's an answer. They know that something exists, and all they have to do is find it. Now, that fourth level is what we call path aware. Now, what that means is you understand that life has been difficult. You understand that there are different ways to do things, and you understand that there are answers when it comes to taking up a spiritual path. Not only that, you know that there are specific spiritual paths. For example, the path that I follow involves Kabbalah. It involves Samkhya. It involves yoga. It involves Goetia. So all these different systems are different paths that can lead you to the answer. So at this stage, you've learned enough, and now you're starting to really think, okay, which path do I want to go? Do I want to go and follow the hoodoo tradition? Do I want to follow, there's so many different paths that you can go through. But at this stage, you understand that yes, there's an answer, and you understand that your answer can be found through a specific path. This is when people get initiated into things. This is when people join certain groups. This is when people actually take up certain programs. This is when you join my Inner Light Activation System class. Because you understand that yes, there's a path, and within that path, there is the answer that you seek. Now, of course, at this level, it's going to take a certain amount of faith because you haven't done anything like this before. So you're stepping out into the unknown. But that's a good thing because it begins to build strength. It begins to build character because now you're relying on something that is beyond your five senses. It's beyond your memory. It's beyond your ego. You're relying on something that is higher. And see, this is what's beautiful about it, because in going through this process, you're learning to lean on a strength that does not come from your human personality. And I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter what path you follow. People follow all kind of different paths, right? There's people that I associate with that don't mess with the Kabbalah at all. There's a lot of people who I associate with that don't mess with Goetia at all. But I'm not going to say what they do is wrong or incorrect, right? Here's the thing, or even the clip-off, right? There's a whole system of working with the clip-off. But the thing is, it doesn't matter which path you take. What matters is you taking the path seriously, because the path is already mapped out. But how are you going to take it? Are you going to walk it with seriousness? Right? Are you going to actually follow what's put in front of you? Are you going to discipline yourself to take it seriously? And in that process of discipline, you start to better yourself. You start to grow yourself. You start to evolve, right? Because hopefully you've done some shadow work by now before reaching this stage. Because what aspects of your personality that haven't been balanced before this, they're definitely going to come up at this stage. They're definitely going to come up at this stage. So look, don't skip anything. You can't skip anything. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. Even if you try to go straight into the clip off, you're going to deal with the same shit that everyone else has to deal with. You're going to have to deal with the shadow work. You're going to have to deal with the ego. You're going to have to deal with attachment. You're going to have to deal with all of it. You're going to have to. Because what you'll find is that as you take up a specific path and you advance on that path, you're going to find that it looks extremely similar to other paths. And the higher up you go, you're going to start to see that all these paths are the same path. You just entered in through a different door. You just entered at a different angle. But the higher that you go, you're going to see that there is pretty much only one path. And that even goes for Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, right? All these things really cross over. Now, the exoteric for the mainstream, it looks different. But in the esoteric aspect of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, shamanism, all these different branches, on the esoteric aspect, you're going to see that they are the same paths. That's why the symbols keep appearing across the board. So it doesn't really matter what system you choose. What matters is, does it relate to you on a deep level, and are you going to take it seriously? right? So that's the fourth stage, path aware. And then finally, the fifth stage is most aware. Most aware. Now, this doesn't mean that you're enlightened, right? This, like, if I were to just to relate this right now with people I know, this will be people that have, I would say gone through my classes already, right? They've already gone through the process of meditation. They understand why meditation is important. They understand what the taught was represent. They understand the different bodies, right? The physical body, the etheric, the astral, the mental, the causal, right? They understand the importance of understanding the tree of life in such that it's not necessarily a map of places, but a map of relationships, right? So people who have gone through a system and have learned a framework and can now work with that framework on their own, these are the people that will be at that highest level. Now, for those of you who are at that level, what that means is you could leave me alone. You could not ever come to my videos ever again, and you'll be all right because you have an understanding of what you're doing, right? You have a certain level of confidence and faith in your practice. You know what you're doing. That's the fifth level, and that's the level that we all aspire to. Now, at that level, there are others, but the main thing is most people don't even make it that far. Most people don't even make it that far. So yeah, that's just to clarify the 5 different levels of the spiritual path. And it's good to understand where you are. Why? Because in understanding where you are, you'll know where you're headed towards, and you'll know what different obstacles are available to you in that specific stage. And now I say available to you because obstacles are actually experiences that can help you grow, right? It's not about some bad guy or some demon that's hurting you or cursing you or keeping you locked in and chained in. That's low level thinking. Got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Always worried about people cursing you, putting hexes on you and what they're doing. That's external based. That's external based. And if your mind is consistently external based, you're never looking inside for the answer. Don't worry about what they're doing. What are you doing? That's the question. What are you doing? So again, peace to everybody here in the chat. Matthew Watson, peace, peace. Useless familiar, peace. Xavier Schaffer Bay says, truth, truth, truth. As Panic said, I'll see you at the top, player. Right. Divine Dre freezing the game. What's up? Divine Dre says, whatever brings you closer to the source. Yes. Marco Power says, if I use clips of you on my channel, is that okay? I would, of course, give you your proper credit. Just wanted to ask, not sure your position on that. Yeah, for sure. Just don't, clip out specific clips trying to start drama. Like how, what's that young dude name? There's that young YouTuber that everybody listens to as far as spiritual stuff. He recently got locked up. But anyways, he kept clipping Brother Yosef stuff, but just the drama parts. Don't do that. But yeah, all good. Brian Roldan, peace. Lily June, peace. Sirius 888, peace. So yeah, once again, level 1 is the unaware. These are people who don't know anything about anything. They just go to work. They might go to church. They don't really care. Level 2, we're dealing with people who are pain aware, right? They get beat up by life and they understand that there's got to be something more than this, and I want to find the answer. What else is out there? That's number 2. Level 3, we call that solution aware, I guess. They're path aware. They understand that the solution aware. They understand that there's a solution that exists out there and they're just looking for it. And that actually adds confidence to their search, because people before that stage, they don't know that a solution exists. Sometimes they even think that they're crazy, right? We've been through that phase where we start dealing with some of the spiritual stuff and we're like, am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? What's going on? You start doubting yourself. But see, that third stage, that's when you know that there is an answer. You might not know the answer yet, but you know there's an answer, right? That's what's super important. And that's what bridges the gap between stage 2 and stage 3, right? So stage 3 is knowing that an answer exists out there somewhere and you're looking for it. That adds confidence to your search, and that's what's going to get you further. Step 4 deals with understanding that there is a specific path, right? And now you're shopping and you're looking for different paths. Do I want to follow the Goetic path? Do I want to follow the Kabbalistic path? Do I want to take up the different yogas, right? Do I want to learn this? Do I want to learn that? What is the path that I want to take that's going to take me forward, right? And then finally, we call that very aware, right? And like I said, that's the most aware. That doesn't mean you're enlightened, but what that means is that you've got the necessary tools to get the job done, right? You got the necessary tools to move past that point. And that's where I'm trying to get all of y'all. That's where I'm trying to get you. That's why I make these videos, because I'm giving information that's going to help to clear out the uncertainty and to clear out the confusion. So with that being said, be aware that I'm going to be speaking live June 6th with the Master Student Conference in Atlanta. There's still a few tickets left. We just about sold out. If you don't have yours, hit me up. I'll hook you up. Secondly, understand that I do have books coming out. Now, I wanted to get my first book completed by the time of the conference, but time didn't allow for that. So what I'm actually going to do is the first book that I'm going to write is going to be kind of like a question and answer thing. So I'm literally going to copy and paste your questions that you've asked me from my YouTube video asking about the Goetia and the questions you have about Goetia. I'm literally going to take those questions and post them in my book. So yeah, your name is going to be in the book, your username, because I don't want anybody to sue me. But I'm literally going to post your username, post the question. I'm going to answer it in the book so that you can live forever in eternity on Amazon Books. So if you haven't asked me a question about the Goetia, go to that video and ask me a question, and I'll put it in the book. I'm currently writing it. It should be done very soon. Hopefully I'll be able to have it printed to sell at the show. If not, it'll be available afterwards. No big deal. After that, I'm definitely going to be working on 2 books that are going to go into detail on the differences between low magic and high magic. Low magic is dealing with your personal lower self, right? Your physical self, as far as like getting everything you need monetarily, love and relationships, health wise. That's what the Goetic spirits are for. They're here to balance your individual personality experience. Now, higher magic, on the other hand, is dealing with the soul. The soul ain't got nothing to do with health, wealth, and relationships, right? No twin flames, no abundance. The soul has nothing to do with any of that. The soul is actually much, much deeper. And we're going to be getting into subjects like the astral plane. And a lot of people don't understand that the astral plane is kind of layered. And the more that you understand the subtle differences between the astral plane, the better your magic is going to be, the better your spiritual work is going to be. The astral plane is actually split up into two halves, the higher astral and the lower astral. The difference being is that the lower astral, this is comprised of data that is very familiar with the material plane. So just to make a crude example, if someone were to die and their intelligence hasn't quite passed on yet, when they reside in that realm, what happens is the astral substance is neutral, but it responds to consciousness. So what you'll find is little pockets of existence where people have shaped the astral plane based on their experience when they were alive. So this is where you have things like ghosts and spirits and all that stuff. But then the higher astral plane doesn't deal with being a replication of the physical. It deals with things that have not incarnated yet. It deals with the prototype realm. But even before you get to the astral plane, you got to understand that there's the etheric plane, which is a very thick layer in between the physical and the astral. Now, all the stuff is you can easily look up if you know how to research. A good book to get is the etheric body and also the astral body. What is his name? I should have the book right here. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, one good one to get is The Astral Body by A.E. Powell. And he also has one on the etheric body. Now they can be somewhat of a difficult read because the language is a bit older, and he is coming from the Theosophical Society. But those are 2 good books to actually get to understand more about the etheric plane and the astral plane. And also, if you really pay attention to the yoga books that we've been reading, they also address these different planes. So yeah. Understand what level you're at, and in that understanding, get the appropriate awareness for your level. Don't try to reach past your level because you're just going to frustrate yourself. Learn what you need right now today, right? If you learn what you need right now today, you're going to get your lesson for the day. Then you'll be able to move forward at your proper pace. You cannot skip no steps. You can't skip steps in this. That's just not how this works. Naturally natured, peace, peace. I'll see y'all in class here in just a few moments. So, yeah, we're going to be continuing with our astral experiment. So, everyone who is part of the class, we're going to meet up, share your dreams for the week, and we're going to find out what's going on here. But yeah, also, let me know. I said a lot of things. I covered a lot of things. We go through so many different subjects on this channel. I can talk about anything, really. But what's more important is what you actually need right now. So I guess in the comments, if you could, just kind of leave some subjects of different things that you want more clarity on, or things that you'd like to learn about. And that will kind of help guide me in the direction of what type of products I need to make, what kind of videos I need to make, and even maybe what type of books that I need to think about writing. Let me know in the chat as far as what kind of concerns you have that can help you to understand this material better, right? Let me know what you want to hear and what you need to hear to understand this material better. Not necessarily what somebody else is talking about, right? I'm not going to make no content on twin flames and, Will Smith and all that stuff. But the serious spiritual work. Because, I mean, just to keep it real, I'm an advanced spiritual teacher. I'm not a basic level teacher. So what I'm going to be dealing with is like this real occult information. So if there's something that you'd want to learn about, some direction that you want to go, let me know in the comments. And with that being said, I need to prepare for class. So I'm about to log out. Thank you all for being here. Like the video if you haven't liked it already. Come on. You know how it goes. Lily June says interdimensional work, earth magic. Okay. Leave a comment on the video and tell me about what that means to you. That way I can have a better idea. Yeah, so go into the comments, not the chat here, the comments of this video, and ask questions. Let me know what direction you kind of want to take things. Because like I said, we can really go anywhere. We're definitely heading towards the Kabbalah. But as far as you being the viewers of this channel and people who are regularly here commenting, liking, and basically the community, let me know what's important to you, and then we can take that further. All right. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream. I definitely look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, June the 6th. It's gonna be epic. Listen, we sold out tickets, sold out a whole month early. We had to get a bigger room. That's amazing. And it's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger. So like I said, I'm so excited to see everybody. And yeah, heading out. Okay, Matthew Watson says you have my permission to use my name in that. Awesome. Yeah, and any of you guys who actually wrote a question to me in that video, if you don't want me to write your name or your username or whatever, let me know also. Because it's just a book. I'm just trying to get the information out. I'm not really trying to infringe on anyone's privacy or none of that. If you absolutely don't want mention of yourself, let me know that as well. No problem. All right. Leave a comment in the comments, not the chat. Leave a comment in the comments, and I will get to that. Lily June says, I might go to ATL to have the virtual. Awesome. Well, either way, you won't miss it. But I hope you are able to make it out. Let me know if you are. Valerie Ball says, learning the 72 Goetias and their aspects. Absolutely. I will be writing a book on that, and it will be out here in just a few months. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, girls, especially. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. I love you all. Peace.